Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 42, Seek Outside Solutions. So the reason I have changed or deviated from the name of the original solution that Matthew E. May offered in his book, Winning the Brain Game, he talks about the problem being not invented here, or NIH, and that the solution is proudly found elsewhere. I'm switching sort of as a moral stand to seek outside solutions. This is not anything to do with May. It has to do with the reputation that has been gained by the proudly found elsewhere policy, which was originally coined by Procter & Gamble. Unfortunately, there are large companies out there who have taken proudly found elsewhere to mean secretly stolen elsewhere. That is, it is widely whispered within the product development community, and I know because I'm part of that community, that there are certain companies that take proudly found elsewhere to saying, yes, please submit your inventions to us for licensing. Then we will take them, and with our lawyers and our big money, we will find a way to work around your intellectual property and then steal your idea and pay you nothing. So because some people have abused the proudly found elsewhere philosophy in a way their mums would not be proud of, I've decided to say, seek outside solutions. So it doesn't change the problem, and it doesn't change the fix. The problem is people go, well, we didn't think of that, and we're the smartest people we know. And that's a problem. It happens inside a lot of corporate cultures where it's like, why would we need anybody else? We're the smartest people. If we needed them, they would work for us, which is really naive, even if you just go over the math, which Matthew E. May talks about in the book. And that is in Procter & Gamble's R&D department, say they have 1,500 scientists. These are arbitrary figures, by the way. These aren't the real ones. But in the world, there are at least equal or better scientists and researchers and innovators to the tune of 1.5 million or 15 million worldwide, who could then assist with making better innovations. And the reason this happened was, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is unique, Lafley, who was the director of Procter & Gamble when they started using proudly found elsewhere, essentially said, look, we need to get 50% of our innovations from sources outside our company. So that was what became changed from not invented here, which is a pervasive, or was a pervasive problem inside P&G, then became proudly found elsewhere, where fully 50% of their innovations had to come from outside of the organization, from tapping into the genius, the group genius of the planet and other innovators within that. So seek outside solutions is the same thing. So instead of thinking you're the smartest, why don't you check? And I would suggest that the best place to start checking is something you've probably heard of, nature. Nature, whether you believe it's a divine creator, which I do not, has had a whole lot longer than any human has to master solutions. If you don't believe that, look at biology. Some of the designs, and in fact, there's a very interesting TED talk about this that uses computer and iterative design. That is, it's AI, and it generates designs from the ground up. It just gives it rules and says, try a bunch of designs and see which work best. And very interestingly, when you look at the designs that this AI generates, they look remarkably organic, like trees or the porosity of bones, sort of this organic-ish pattern that comes out. And the reason that that's the pattern that wins is because, just like evolution has tested different animal forms, different organic forms, and the ones that failed just died and failed to reproduce. It's called evolution. It's a matter of elimination, not inclusion. So those organisms animals or plants that survived were obviously better solutions. And over time, as the environment changed, those solutions either survived because they were still good solutions, or they died out, and the variations, the genetic variations that led to different versions that survived were better and better and better solutions. So I would say the master designer is nature. There's so many examples, I can't even begin to describe that, but it's also easy to say that look everywhere. I've said this multiple times in this series and in other videos and articles, that ideas don't come from nowhere. They come from what has gone before. As Newton said, if I've seen so far, it is because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. This is also the case here. I found solutions for inventions in origami, yes, Japanese paper folding, that were superb in terms of solving solutions. And even the space program has got inspiration from there. When you talk about, folding of giant solar sails and stuff, the origami patterns work superbly well because they've already been developed for that purpose. So don't reinvent the wheel. So really, that's all there is to this episode. Is another place, and perhaps one of the most powerful places of all, is look everywhere. I look in dollar stores and hardware stores and so many places where somebody may well have already solved the challenge, the problem, the innovation, the business model that you already have. In addition to looking at your internal resources and creativity, don't hesitate to say, what are other organizations doing? What are other innovators doing? Now, I would completely disagree with and discourage you from doing anything as unethical as working around somebody's patent. It's not illegal, but it is highly unethical. But you can look to what others are doing, and people do this all the time. Look at on the internet, when you look at ClickFunnels or other things like that, the way people are designing their sales and marketing, they look online, find out what's working really well, and then model it. Don't steal it, don't copy it overtly, but model it. So this gives us the ability to tap into worldwide and across history level group genius. So I think personally, this is probably the very, very most powerful of the fixes to the thinking flaws. Put your ego aside. You are not the smartest person who has ever lived or lives today. Even if you are, you're going to find that the people who fit on that level tend to say, I look to nature, I look outside, I look to other interests, which is why it's good to have many interests. I look to everything. I found a solution for the control problem that Google never solved for autonomous controls of kites. I have a different version, but it actually works. Google looked for that solution for many years. I found it flying my power kite, or I found it flying my power kite. Likewise, I have a better solution than Bill Gates's Heliogen, and it's has nothing to do with me being an engineer, because I'm not. It has to do with me thinking about it in the simplest way possible and finding a simple solution. So proudly found elsewhere is the solution, or seek outside solutions is the best solution in many cases when you're stuck, to see what are other geniuses doing and how can I use what they've done and model from them in an ethical way to make our solutions better. That's it for Crush It Club 42. Seek outside solutions. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.